back to REDUX Makes. My name is Johanna and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a tin can plant pot cosy, but first I'm going to put on my apron. Okay, so let's begin by going through all of the different things that you're going to need to do this craft, starting off with your tin can. First of all, you need to enjoy whatever is inside of your tin can and then give it a really good clean. Soaking it in warm soapy water for about 2 hours will make sure that it's nice and clean, and it will make it really easy to take off the paper label. Using a scourer or a sponge, you can also scrub the tin can quite hard to get off any residual glue or paper that might still be on it. The next thing you're going to need is a toilet roll inside. Might seem a bit odd, but I'll come back to that later on. The third thing you're going to need is some fabric twine. This might look a little bit daunting, but I will show you how to make this a little bit later on, and it's actually really quite easy. The next thing you'll need is a pair of fabric scissors and the fabric that you're going to use to make your fabric twine. You can use any fabric to do this. You can use towels, you can use what I've used, which is some old bedding. You can use clothes, anything will do. You just need to make sure that when you're cutting it, you don't cut it into strips that are wider than about 1 inch, because otherwise it will be really chunky and it won't be very nice to work with. You'll also need some hot glue gun sticks and a hot glue gun. I picked my glue gun up for about £12 from Argos, so it's fairly inexpensive. The last thing will be some spray paint. Again, I picked this up for about £5 or £6 from Halfords, and you can also get it in any car repair shops or any hobby shops. First thing you need to do after you've cleaned and dried your tin can is to spray paint it. You need to follow the manufacturer's instructions that are on the back of the bottle to make sure that you are following health and safety, and also you need to make sure that you're really careful to do it in an open ventilated space, and preferably outside if possible. So what you need to do is you need to get 2 contrasting bits of fabric. I got mine from cutting up some old bedding, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of the floral pieces and one of the purple pieces to make a contrasting fabric twine pattern. First thing you need to do is tie the top together. I have no idea what this knot is called, but it's just a standard knot. And you just need to do it like this. You need to pull it quite tight to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. So then you'll have 2 pieces, one purple and one floral, that will be the same length because they both came from the same object. What you need to do is make sure that one of them is about 4 or 5 inches shorter than the other one. So I'm just going to take my fabric scissors and I'm going to cut a little bit off the end of the floral one. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my longer piece. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to take my longer piece in my right hand and the short piece in my left hand, holding the knot with my thumb and forefinger of my left hand, and holding the long strip with my right hand. I'm going to put 2 twists into the purple fabric. Then I'm going to pull this towards myself and then hold it down with my left thumb. Again, you just need to keep repeating this. So I'm going to do 2 twists with my right hand, and then I'm going to pull it forward and hold it in place with my left hand. And then this is what you do for a fairly long amount of time. You just keep going, and you will get quicker, but doing this in front of the TV or watching a film makes it go so much quicker, and you get to make something lovely at the end of it. So now what I've done is I've twisted that, and I've got about 12 centimetres I'd say, and I'm just going to show you how strong this really is. You can put it really quite hard and it's not going anywhere. You can also let go of the end, and because the twists are working in 2 different directions, it's not going to unravel easily. Now what I've done is, because I've got to the end of my short piece, I left myself about 2 inches. What I now need to do is weave in another piece of fabric to be able to keep it going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that piece of fabric in half and then fold it in to the piece that I already have in my fabric twine, making sure it's all completely enclosed. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly what I've been doing. I'm going to put 2 twists in, pull it towards myself, and then do the same with the purple. This bit can be a little bit tricky and it can come undone, so you just need to make sure that before you do each twist again, that you're making sure that the second piece of fabric is properly attached to the first piece. So then carry on, and then at one point your new piece will be the only piece that you're twisting. So I'm just about getting there. There. So I'm just going to go on a few more twists after that to be able to show you how strong that connection is, and that you can actually put quite a lot of force against the fabric twine before it's going to give. So there we are. So here is my join. There's a little bit of fabric sticking out which you can cut off later on with the fabric scissors, but you can see that that connection is really quite strong and it's not going anywhere. As I said earlier, what you need to do is make 4 meters of this. It's only taken a couple of minutes to make this much, so I'm going to speed up the video so that you don't have to watch me do it, because that might take quite a while, and I'll catch up with you at the end. And now I just made 4 meters of it.
I don't know what happens at the end of 7 minutes.
What do you mean?
I don't know if it pops onto a new file. We have to remember that. Stop looking at me. Just keep doing what you're doing. Fucking brilliant, by the way.
Look at this, so fiddly. Oh, I lost it.
How many are you done?
4 meters worth.
What?
The thing is, I might just stop it. I might do a little bit so that I have a little bit to speed up and then be like, the video cut off. Video cut off, run out of memory of the camera. So here I am with my 4 meters. It took me about 45 minutes to do.
Is it going to take you that long?
It's going to take a while, yeah.
Oh, then, but let's definitely stop it. I've charged the camera.
Yeah. But I just want like a couple of minutes of me doing this, and then when we come back I'll say, oh, so that took a little bit longer and my camera died.
You can just go and do.
Hi, so that's me back again. I've just finished making my 4 meters of twine. It took about 45 minutes, as you can probably tell because it's now dark outside. And now I'm going to show you how we're going to attach this to the tin can with the hot glue gun. First of all, to make my life easy, what I've done is when I finished, I put a knot in the end of my twine to keep it all together. And I'm just going to use my fabric scissors to trim that down so I don't have lots of little pieces hanging off the end. Also, to make my life easy, I'm going to start by winding it around my toilet roll inside. This just keeps it all together and makes it a lot easier when you're putting it around the tin. So I'm just going to wind it around like this to keep it nice and tidy. I'll speed this bit up here. Okay, right. So first things first, you need to familiarise yourself with the instructions for the hot glue gun because they are all different. This is my little glue gun, and I've got it resting on a little chopping board so that I don't get any glue on my countertop. I'm going to start this by putting a small dab of glue at the bottom of the tin can, and then I'll start wrapping around the tin can from there. So just a small blob here, like that. And then I take the end of my twine, and then with my thumb I'm just going to push it on. The glue can get quite hot, so you do need to be quite careful at this point. So then from there, I'm just going to wrap my twine around my can, and then ever so occasionally I'm going to put another little dab of glue just to keep everything in place and make it nice and neat. So I'm just going to put another bit of glue here, and then again I'm just going to hold it down with my fingers to make sure that it stays in place until it's dry. It dries really quickly, so you really don't have to wait too long. And then I'm just going to keep wrapping around my can. Okay, so that's me almost done with wrapping my twine around the tin can. I didn't quite make enough this time round, so if you do want to go all the way up to the lip, you can just undo this knot and add a few more bits in. Unravel it a little bit and add a few more bits in to take you to the top. But I'm not that far off, so I'm just going to leave it this time. And then I'll show you how to finish it off when I get to the end. So I put a little bit of glue and I'm just going to wrap it round until my knot is right at the end of where the glue is. And then I'm going to take my fabric scissors and I'm just going to trim the ends here so they're nice and close to the knot, like that. And then I'm going to take one final bit of glue and I'm going to put a little blob right on the lip of the can, and then I'm just going to press that knot down and hold it to make sure that it's firmly stuck down. So there we have it. What I think is a very lovely little tin can cosy. And so the tartan twine that I showed you earlier, I also turned into another tin can cosy. And I had a little bit extra on this one, so what I did is rather than cut it off and cut it short, I wrapped it round to make a little accent detail on the tin can on this one. So there we have 2 tin can cozies. Obviously the next step is to plant your plants, and once I've got these done, I'll stick a picture at the end of the video to show you what they look like finished. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.